So this is the sweater I'm knitting at the moment. It's called a panda pullover, for obvious reasons. It's got an interesting Intarsia panda picture on the front of this sweater. It's a lady's tunic dress style sweater, just a baggy sweater really, drop shoulder style. It's plain other than the Intarsia panda design. So I've knitted the back and I'm onto the front at the moment, and what I've noticed since looking closer at the pattern and I looked at the chart is that this is the chart they give you in the pattern, and although they've marked out small, medium, large and extra large on the graph here, that is not helpful to me whatsoever. I wouldn't be able to follow that as is without getting lost. That's just too confusing to me. So they've printed it out in the actual size for each sizes, if you like. So small, medium, large and extra large is exactly the number of stitches for each size for this Intarsia design. It's 156 rows long. So what I've done is I've photocopied it and I've modified it slightly to make it easier to follow. So what I've done here is I've marked the rows up the side and the stitches across the bottom. So the rows up the side I've started from 1 to 156 and I've marked them out every 5 rows in between because it's printed too small to mark out every row. I can't write that small anyway. So that'll help me keep track of the rows. And the stitches across the bottom, I've marked it out for my size, which is small, which I'm knitting here. Because it's to size here, in between small and small there's 91 stitches. So it's an odd number, so I've got my odd number on the left here, so I'm from 46 left to 45 right. So I started by writing 46 at the left here on where it's indicated as small and marked them out every 5 stitches in between until we get to the centre left one, which is here. And again on the right hand side of 0 I've marked out right 1 to right 45 with all the 5 stitch increments in between. So there's right 1 to right 45. And to simplise, is that a word? To make things more simple further, I have crossed off each row as I've knitted them and also extended my every 5 stitch increments here with a red permanent marker so that I can instantly look at this and know exactly where I'm up to and what row I'm on. And should I forget to cross a row out after I've knitted it, I can just look at the row count and say, right, I've knitted 16 rows, so in this case I've crossed it off. But if I hadn't crossed it off, I'd know that I'd need to cross that off, and then there was row 17 there, which is what I'm about to do now. So this makes it very easy just to look at it straight away, and I'll say, right, the carriage is on the right hand side, so I'm going to read it from right to left. If the carriage was on the left, I'd read it left to right. So carriage is on the right, so I'm going to read it from right to left. So I can see here, stitch 45, we want white, and that doesn't change until we get to stitch, you can see how easy this is, until we get to stitch 16. So stitch 45 to stitch 17 on the right needs to be white. So I lay that in from 45 to 17. Like that. Okay. Then I get my black and of course cross it there so we don't end up with a hole. And that needs to go from stitch 16, which you can see here. Just drop my yarn a minute, there we go. There's 15. So it needs to be from 16 all the way over to 31, 32 on the right. So my black can go from 16 on the right all the way over, so excuse me, to what did we say, 32 on the right, sorry, the left, 32 on the left. Then we look back at the chart and we see that it's going to be 33, and that doesn't change. So the whites will be crossed under here, under the black, so we don't get a hole. Always cross the yarns in Intarsia. So that's gone from 33 right the way to 46 at the end. And you can see how fast that makes it to figure out where we're up to. We can just look at that very quickly and find out where we are on the chart. So that's the way I normally do Intarsia. You might have other methods that make it easier, but this is how it makes it easy for me, and I just thought I'd share that with you in case you were struggling with it. But there we go. There's no right or wrong way, just whatever's easier for you. But there we go. That's how I keep track of my Intarsia charts.